Hello, everybody, and welcome to Candler Yoga. We're going to have a restorative class today. So if you haven't already, I would encourage you to go ahead and go grab a couple of pillows, just, regular size pillows. And I grabbed a blanket, but if you don't have that nearby, you can grab a towel and a block or a couple of books. These are just going to assist us in our practice today. Restorative classes are a little bit more passive in the sense that you're not engaging your muscles as much as we're learning how to just kind of release into postures. It's a really what I kind of think of as like a mothering practice. So we learn how to kind of support ourselves with these different props so that we can really release any tension that we're having. And for some people, it's really awesome and really nice. For people like me, it's actually one of the harder practices of yoga to do because when we're really still, that's when our mind doesn't have the opportunity to think about all of our postures, how we're engaging our muscles, and that's kind of stimulating our attention. And when we're kind of slowing down and really just releasing into different postures, that's when real emotions and things can come up for us. And at least that's what I found through this practice. But it's really beautiful as well. It engages with our parasympathetic nervous system, which is the nervous system that allows us to kind of get into the sense of calm and lowers our stress levels, lowers our heart rate. So I really hope that you all like this time. We're going to be starting with a little bit more movement just to get our bodies warmed up, probably for like 15 minutes or so. I'm going to share with you all what's called a moon salutation. And moon salutations are typically done closer to the evening, but we're afternoon right now, so we're good. I think we're going to do it anyways. I love moon salutations. They're a really grounding practice. You'll see that it's quite different than a sun salutation where we're low to the ground, getting some stretches through the hips. So we'll do a few rounds of those. You'll get a hang of it, and then we'll move into our restorative postures. You might want to, if you're able, don't worry about it. If you're not, you might want to switch your mat long ways today so that, if that makes sense, instead of facing me, you're kind of long ways, especially for the moon salutation, because on the moon salutations, we actually move side to side on the mat versus vertically. So just a little bit different. It might be easier as far as looking towards the camera. All right, that was a lot of jibber jabber. I promise I'm not going to actually talk as much today, especially when we get to the restorative portion. It's really about listening to yourself and kind of having your own experience, but that's just a few notes before we begin. Any questions or anything?
Thanks for doing it, because I think I requested it.
Oh, thank you. No, I love it when I get requests, so I'm really happy. It also helps me kind of freshen up on things that I don't teach quite as much, so yeah, it's really good for me too. So thank you. I think it's a perfect time actually right now to do it too. So, all right, with that being said, we will go ahead and get started in a little bit of a different fashion today. We'll do our meditation throughout the rest of the class, but we're going to start standing to get our muscles warmed up and begin with those moon salutations. So what you can go ahead and start with doing is just stand to the left side of your mat. And you have the long version all the way over to the right. So find your mountain pose, really ground your heels down into the floor, ground all your toes down into the floor. Maybe lift your shoulders up towards your ears. Inhale and then exhale them down the back, palms open. And then close your eyes just for a moment here, grounding yourself. And then when you're ready, inhale, open your eyes, lift your arms up overhead. Biggest stretch of the day. Imagine you're trying to touch the ceiling. And then grab a hold of that left wrist with the right hand and exhaling over towards the right side. You're just trying to get a side body stretch. Maybe look up towards the ceiling, tilting that chin upwards. And keeping that chest open, not rounding down. Inhale, let's come back through center. And then exhale over towards the opposite side. So maybe grabbing a hold of that right wrist and leaning over towards the left. Inhale, we'll come back through center. And exhale, we'll take a back bend. You can either keep your arms up overhead and just lean back, pressing your hips forward, or you can bring the hands behind the back, kind of like you're sticking them in your back pockets, pressing the hips forward and opening up the chest that way. Good, very slowly inhale, come back up one vertebrae at a time. Arms lift back up overhead. And on your exhale, you take a big step over with that right leg, landing in what's called goddess pose. So toes point out, heels in. Exhale, open that chest, elbows come out wide, palms open. Great, inhale, let's lift back up what's called star pose. We're gonna tilt that left foot in, so it's about 45 degrees pointed towards the right side of the mat. Point those right toes forward, and then exhale, reach for triangle pose. So we're familiar with triangle pose, stretching to the left side of the body, looking up towards that left hand. We're going slow through this first round just so you can get the motions. Then when you're ready, left hand down towards the right. We're dropping the forehead towards that right shin. We're just to fold over this right leg. You might have to adjust your stance slightly, and that's fine. We want to try to keep both heels grounded down. Hands can be on the right leg, or they can reach out in front of you. Just release the head, neck, and shoulders. And then when you're ready, all we're doing is we're dropping this back knee, this left knee comes down, and inhale, sweep up for low lunge. Maybe you can gaze up and back, opening up through the heart. Exhale, hands back down. And we're coming into crouching tiger on the right side. So hands come on the inside of that right leg, left toes lift up. Great. Inhale through center, exhale, Malasana pose. Hands to heart center, elbows on the inside of the knees. Good, come over towards the left side now. Drop that right knee down. Inhale, lift up, low lunge. So we're just doing the same motions now in the opposite order. Hands come down, straighten that right leg up, forward facing fold over the left leg. Try to have both heels grounded down, both legs as straight as you can. Slight bend in the left knee is fine. Inhale, lift up, triangle pose. One breath. Inhale, lift back up, spiral those right toes out, back to our goddess squat. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, we're taking a step over towards the right side of the mat. Left foot meets the right. Hands to heart center. So now we're on the opposite side of the mat. We're going to do the same thing and float over towards the left. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, lean over towards the right. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, over towards the left. Inhale, lift. Exhale, your version of a back bend. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, goddess. Squat down. Inhale, lift back up. Left toes point forward. Reach that left hand forward and exhale, triangle pose. Great, right hand meets the left. If you need to adjust that right foot, you can. Come into our forward fold here. My right foot is about at a 45-degree angle, just for some reference. When you're ready, right knee drops down. Inhale, sweep the arms up, low lunge. Exhale, hands come down. Come into crouching tiger, left side, right toes point up. Hands can always come at heart center if you feel comfortable with that. Otherwise, when you're ready, come back through center, squat down low, Malasana pose. Roll over to the right side, crouching tiger. Hands can stay at heart center if you prefer. Hands to the top of the mat on the right side. Drop the left knee down. Inhale, lift up, low lunge. Exhale, hands come down. Lift that left knee off the mat. Step in slightly, forward fold. Inhale, lift up, triangle pose. When you're ready, lift all the way up, come back to goddess. Make sure both toes are spread apart, pointed out. Inhale, lift up, star. Exhale, back towards the left side of the mat. Hands to heart center. Great, so you can see that's kind of one round. We flow to one side and then we flow to the other. We're gonna do that one more time on each side. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Maybe you can get a little bit deeper this time. Exhale, over to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, over towards the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, center. Exhale, goddess. Get down low if you can. Really bring those elbows like you're trying to touch them behind your back. Inhale, lift up, star pose. Rotate the feet. Reach that right arm forward. Exhale, triangle. Left hand meets the right. Left foot spirals in slightly, forward fold. Step the left foot back, left knee drops. Inhale, sweep up, low lunge. Exhale, hands come down, crouching tiger on the right side. Now, if you find that your right heel is lifting up a lot, you can always place that book underneath that heel. That can be helpful for you there. Come back through center, Malasana, squat down. Crouching tiger over towards the left. Walk your hands to the top of the mat. Drop the right knee down. Inhale, sweep up, low lunge. Really open up that heart for this crescent position in the back. Exhale, hands come down. Reaching the right heel back on the mat, straightening the right leg, folding over to the left. When you're ready, lift that right arm up, triangle pose. Inhale, lift all the way up, toes point out. Exhale, Malasana. Inhale, lift up, star pose. Exhale, step to the other side of the mat, hands to heart center. Left foot meets right. Last time here. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, side bend. Half moon pose. Lots of moon poses in this sequence. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, opposite side. Inhale, back to center. Your deepest back bend. Press those hips forward, open up that heart, look up and back. Inhale, rise. Exhale, Malasana. Well, not Malasana. I get Malasana and Goddess mixed up because they're very similar. Great job. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, triangle. Inhale here. Exhale, fold over that left leg. Inhale. Exhale, right knee drops. Inhale, arms sweep up. One breath. Hands come down, crouching tiger, left side, right toes point up. Maybe hands to heart center here, maybe not. Inhale, lift yourself through center. Exhale, Malasana. Come over to the right side, crouching tiger. Rotate hands to frame that right foot. Drop the right knee down. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands come down. Left leg straightens, come forward fold over that right leg. Inhale, lift up, triangle pose. Exhale. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, back to our goddess pose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back to the top of the mat. Hands to heart center. Great job. So that's our moon salutations. I really like them. I hope that you kind of like how they're fluid and close to the floor, really grounding. At this point, now that we're a little bit more warm and open, we'll move into our restorative portion of the class. So I invite you to go ahead and grab those pillows. You can just place them beside you, and we're going to go ahead and come and find ourselves on the mat for a child's pose to begin. So as we know, child's pose is, we're taking a wide-legged child's pose today, so knees far apart and feet or heels closer together. And we're dropping our hips back towards the heels. Traditionally, we just allow that chest to fall to the floor. But to make this a restorative posture today, you can take either one or two pillows. You might have to see what you need. Allowing yourself to really feel supported here. And then you can just bring your left cheek to the mat, to the pillow. So you might like two. I think two actually feels better for me. And we're going to switch sides here. We'll be on the left cheek for a while and then return over. Your option, if you feel like child's pose is something that is just super easy for you and you would actually like a little bit more of a challenge in your restorative posture today, you can come into frog pose, where we bring the insides of the feet flat onto the mat and trying to get that 90-degree angle between our thigh and our shin. That's another option. You do the same thing. You bring those pillows right underneath the chest, close to the hips, and then you allow yourself to sink down. Okay, so whichever posture you choose is fine. But as you're here, really focus on releasing. So try to focus less on stretching and more of just releasing that head, the neck, the shoulders, the weight of the abdomen. Hands can be palms facing down if that feels right. You could also place the palms facing up if that feels like it'll allow you to open up a little bit more. And so the purpose isn't to fall asleep here. You can close your eyes, but allow the silence to be a place of meditation for you, going deeper anywhere that you need to. When we find stillness and silence, that's when real growth starts to happen, when we realize what's actually happening inside of ourselves. Oftentimes, it's just about finding that truth that's always there, but sometimes distracted or hidden behind all these other illusions. When you're ready, you can go ahead and switch your cheeks, so bring the opposite cheek to the pillow. sometimes there's some misconceptions about meditation, that it's about not thinking at all, but it's not actually true. It's more about having this deeper and more expansive awareness. Becoming more attentive to what is real, all those things that lie beyond our senses. If you're finding that urge to move, try to keep breathing in this position. I know for me, one of the reasons why restorative yoga is hard is because it feels unproductive. But I've learned that my understanding of productivity has needed to shift and change, and that this stillness, this quiet, this surrendering is quite useful. Very slowly, we're gonna transition out of this pose and come into our next posture. You can slowly lift yourself back up, whether you're in frog or if you're in child's pose, just come back up onto your hands and knees. You can move those pillows away slightly. We're gonna use them again. We're gonna come over and find a seat. So just come and sit down. We're coming into a bound angle posture. So bring the soles of the feet together here. And today, instead of trying to bring the feet really close to the inside of the hips, try to elongate them slightly. So our knees are still bent and our hips are still open, but making this a little bit longer today. So same sort of idea, we're folding over our legs, bringing that upper body down. So again, pillows maybe here in the center is fine. You might want a couple. I think that that's a little bit more comforting. If you find that you need something under your knees, you could also put those blocks or pillows or a couple blankets. And it's the same idea. We're just surrendering forward, palms face up this time. And again, you can bring just one cheek. If you find that this is still hard and you're not able to bring that cheek down, you can fold a pillow, kind of like a little sandwich, a little burger. Didn't think we talked about burgers in class today, but here we are. So just kind of get yourself situated. It's okay to take a little bit of time. You want to be comfy here, and then you can release. In this posture, you might notice more tension in the back. This is an area of the body that stays pretty tight for many people. So just do your best to think about surrendering forward. Trying to let go of the results and just be in whatever posture you're in. And again, when we're halfway through, I'll tell you when, and you can flip cheeks if you decided to look over to one side or the other. If you want to have your head forward, that's perfectly fine too. there's a certain part of your body that you feel like needs some extra care, you can think about bringing your breath, your attention there. Each breath is a new opportunity and a new moment. So if at any time during this practice you feel like you need to shift your attention somewhere else, that's perfectly fine. Maybe you find a mantra, or you decide that you want to dedicate this practice to someone or something. You can go ahead and turn your ear, if you're on one side, to the other side. Maybe as you do so, allowing your shoulders to fall away a little bit more, releasing any expression on your face, releasing any tension through the arms, the back. And slowly you can make your way back through center. The more you practice this type of yoga, the more length that you can hold these postures. We're not going too long today, but they can be extended for as much as 7 minutes, which I think is really hard, or even more for some people. But for now, we're going to move on to our next posture. We won't have to shift too much here. Just go ahead and remove your pillows or whatever you have on top of you. I'm going to show you from the side what we're doing next is we're coming into a basic forward fold, but with some adjustments. Coming to knees bent to begin and sitting up as tall as you can. And the same sort of idea is we're going to fold over our legs, but we're going to hug underneath our arms. So kind of giving ourselves this little hug. And then you can begin to kind of straighten the legs and bow the head forward. And if you're like me, my head doesn't fully touch my knees. So I am going to bring a pillow on top of my legs. Still going to hug underneath my thighs, right above the knees. And then just let my head rest down. For me, it feels better in this position to have my forehead on the pillow. But if you want to have one cheek to one side, that's fine too. I will tell you when we're halfway through. But just see what it feels like to hug around your legs. If that's really uncomfortable, you can also just have your arms beside your body. But I like to have that extra little hug. And then you can just begin. If this is very uncomfortable for that low back, feel free to take another one of your pillows or your blanket and just put it underneath your hips. That'll elevate your hips a little bit more and allow you to fold forward with a little bit more ease. I'm just trying to provide as many options today. If you want another option, you can also bring a pillow or blanket underneath the knees for extra support if that would feel good. It's all about getting comfy here. Whenever you're ready, if you're on one side of your cheek, you can go ahead and flip and just turn to the other side. If you wandered somewhere, just come back. Noticing what's coming up for you. As you feel yourself, hug yourself around your legs, really give yourself this sense of tenderness and care. Sending yourself love, support, encouragement. As you're ready, you can slowly start to lift up, releasing the hands from underneath the legs. Moving that pillow away. I'm going to go ahead and grab my blocks for this next posture. So if you have your books nearby, you can grab those too. But taking your time, I know the longer that we're in poses like that, the longer it takes to kind of get out of them and reacquaint yourself back to your surroundings. We're coming into fire log legs from here. We'll be doing this on both sides, but first we're going to bring that right leg out in front of us, trying to get that shin parallel to the edge of the mat. And then we'll lift up that left leg. And to begin, you might just kind of want to rock your hip out to open it up a little bit more. Hopefully those moon salutations helped with that, but if you're still feeling tight, you can go ahead and do that. And whenever you're ready, left ankle comes on top of the right knee. Try to sit up nice and tall here. And if your knee meets your foot, your left knee meets your foot, that's great. If you're like me today and there's quite a bit of space, take your towel or blanket and just kind of stuff it in between that space, giving yourself some support. And then what we're doing is I'm actually going to use my blocks for this one, and putting my blocks out in front of me. I can start by just sitting here, but eventually coming forward, hinging from the hips, and again releasing forward, trying to get that forehead to the blocks. And same sort of surrender, okay? If you want to use the pillows in front of you, that's fine. If you want to put them on top of your legs to allow the chest to release down, that's fine as well. But just get yourself set up in a way that feels right, and just release. Here you might feel especially a stretch in the outer left hip. That's pretty typical, so just know that's okay. But we want to avoid any hurting on the knees. So if you're feeling it in your knees, just ease up a little bit, and you can just practice this posture sitting up tall, maybe closing your eyes. Okay? We'll be here for a few moments before we switch sides. We tend to stuff a lot of emotions in the hips, stuff that we try not to feel sometimes. So if things come up for you, just know that that is normal. And you can enter those emotions at your own pace. If you don't feel like you're ready for it today, that's all right. If you do feel like you want to go there, feel free to. As you're ready, you can slowly start to lift back up, unraveling, lengthening back through that spine. Maybe removing whatever support you have. And we'll just bring our legs out front for a moment. Just shake them out, then and straighten the knees a few times before we come to this pose on the opposite side. Left shin comes out front. Feel free to go at your own pace. You can hug the right knee in, the right leg in, kind of rocking out the hip here before eventually placing that right ankle on top of the left knee. You might find that this side is different. Oftentimes that is the case. Place that support underneath that right knee if you need it. And this is the type of practice not to skimp on support. So if you need it, just go for it. We'll bring those blocks or whatever types of support you use on the other side in front of you. And when and if you're ready, reaching that chest forward, hinging from the hips. And just take your time. If you're able, really try to release the head. So think about the full weight of the head being supported, the brain supported, and all the thoughts in it. Feels really good to release the tension there. We hold up our heads all day long. We're here just for a few more breaths, trying your best to stay here in the stillness. And then as you're ready, let's come up one vertebrae at a time. Very slowly, when you're ready, removing those props. And we'll bring those legs back up to straighten. Of course, in your other types of asana practices, you can also incorporate these restorative postures at the end of class. I really like that one that we just did. It feels really good on my hips especially. We're going to come reclined here. You might just want your props nearby. But straighten your legs out long. And we'll come down one vertebrae at a time. So gently, slowly lowering down all the way flat on your mat. Should feel good after all of those forward folds to lie flat. We're going to do some spinal twists with some support. So you'll probably want a couple of pillows close to you. We've done this in class before, but we'll start with our hands out to either side like a capital T. We'll bend the right knee and then, or left knee, whatever. We're going to do both sides. I'm going to start with my left side. So bending my left knee, and I'm going to bring my left knee over towards the right side of the body. When I do that, I'm going to bring either one or two of my pillows underneath that bent knee to just give it some extra support. So that way it's not floating off the floor, it's actually feeling the support of that pillow. And then with my left knee over towards my right, I'm going to just bring my gaze over towards the left. So you're looking away from that bent knee. And then we're just holding this twist. Do your best to release that bent leg down. So you're not lifting it up, you're just letting it sink into the pillows. And trying your best to keep both shoulders on the floor. That can often be a challenge. And when you're ready, we're going to come back through center. Just rolling back onto your back, and we're going to do this on the opposite side. So you might just want to bring your pillows over towards the other side before bending the right knee, or if you did do this side, do the opposite side. And just allow that right knee to fall over towards the left side, and you can keep both shoulders on the floor and look over that right hand. If you ever want a really nice feeling in this posture, you can get someone in your household that cares for you to press down on your right shoulder. That just will help to expand the chest and deepen the twist a little bit further. As you're ready, inhale, come back through center, straightening that leg out. We're going to come into Shavasana pose now, our place of final rest. And I'm going to offer a few different things for us today. First thing we can do, if you would like, is creating a little bit more of a heart opener, is folding either our towel or our blanket and just kind of this long, thin position, placing it on the mat so that you're laying down right here from kind of the sacrum, the very bottom part of the spine, all the way up towards the neck. And that's just going to let you kind of have a slight open to the chest. So that's one option. Second option, you can do this and add the second option, or you can just do one or the other. Is we can bring the pillows underneath the knees, either one or two, and that'll help get the low back more on the mat and kind of release that way. It's really nice. I love putting something underneath my knees in Shavasana. So those are the two options today. If you would prefer to not take either of those and just do a traditional Shavasana, that's fine too. But I encourage you to just test this out. It feels really nice. Take your time to get settled wherever you're at. Maybe bring your palms facing up and your eyes closed. Taking a moment to scan our bodies, starting from the tips of the toes. You can even wiggle them around a little, and then release all the tension there. Letting go of the muscles of the feet, the ankles, the calves. Maybe you can let the kneecaps loosen and relax in this position. Release the thighs and the hips. Letting that low back meet the floor. Maybe just noticing the rising and the falling of the belly or the chest as you breathe. Rib cage expanding and opening up towards the sky. Pulling the shoulders away from the ears to release them down. Trying to release any tension through the face. If there's something that you'd like to let go of in this time, maybe just allowing your mind to think about dripping those things, those thoughts or feelings out from the fingers and toes. Maybe with each inhale, welcoming in something new, something that you're ready to accept. We'll stay here for just a few moments of silence before ending our class together. If you have the time and you'd like to stay in Shavasana for longer, feel free to stay here as long as you would like. Otherwise, you can start to bring your attention back into your surroundings, deepening the breath to begin. Noticing the sensations of the body, wiggling fingers and toes, rolling around your joints, ankles and wrists. With an inhale, maybe lift the arms up overhead. Maybe remove the pillows under your legs. As you draw your knees into your chest, rolling over to one side, using that bottom arm as a pillow underneath your head, pausing there. Taking the time to give thanks, or to soak in any reflections that you've had over this past hour. When you're ready, come to find a comfortable seat. Just anywhere on your mat is fine. Eyes still closed, sitting up nice and tall. Together, let's inhale, lift the arms up overhead. As you do so, lengthen through the spine. Palms touch, and then exhale, lower the hands with a pause over the forehead. A reminder for us to have kind thoughts over the mouth, for that symbol and reminder for us to use gentle words. And then letting the hands rest at heart center. A reminder to always move and walk with pure intentions. The light within me sees the light within each of you. Namaste.